Hi. So for today's practice, once again, we're going to need a nice sturdy chair, but I want you to be certain that the chair is not going to slide. So either have it placed on a yoga mat if you have a yoga mat available, or another choice is to use a bath towel and place the bath towel on a carpeted surface, and that should help keep the chair stable as well. We don't want the chair sliding out from underneath your hands. Okay, so last time we were together, in the previous video, we were talking about just noticing the sensations in the body as we practice. And I want you to continue with that practice as we move through, as you choose what you want to do with the forms that I suggest. I want you to notice how your body reacts to them, how they feel, so that you can discern what is useful and what might not be quite as useful. And I want you to remember that it's your choice. So you're not intending to copy me, you're intending to live your truth in this practice. And here comes Bruce to make an appearance. So while Bruce is figuring out what he wants to do, why don't we go ahead and begin? We're going to have our feet flat on the floor. And just like last time, ankles are in line with the knees. The knees are in line with the center of the hips. We're going to draw in and up in the lower abdomen, move the lower ribs in, lift the heart just a bit, keep the shoulders relaxed, and let the arms rest someplace comfortable. And then either close your eyes or perhaps look down toward the floor. Notice your contact points between the soles of the feet and the surface they're resting on. Notice the contact points with your hips and the surface of the chair. Maybe the contact points between where your arms and hands are resting. And finally, even notice how the air is touching your skin. You might notice the breath slowing down. You might even notice the exhalation lengthening. And as it does, it's possible the shoulders are dropping away from the ears. Perhaps the shoulder blades are melting down the spine. And then blinking our eyes open, we're going to bring the arms down by our side, turn the palms out, breathe in, take the arms up, and exhale the hands to the heart. And again, breathing in and exhale. And one more time, breathing in and exhale. And then bring the arms back down by your side. And let's go ahead and stand up. We're going to turn our chairs so that we're standing at the back of them. And we're going to use our chairs for a lot of stretching and leaning on. And that's why it's so important that they don't slip. And because we are in more of a standing practice today, I also want you to be careful about where you're standing. For instance, if you're wearing socks, but you're on maybe a tiled or a wooden floor, that could be a little bit dangerous. So either take your socks off or move to a safer location. I want you to be absolutely safe and secure as you practice. And if you need to press pause while you're doing that, go ahead and press pause and then press play when you're ready. We're going to start close to the back of the chair. I always keep my fingertips on the chair to help with my stability. Breathing in, just rising up, lifting the heels. Breathing out, letting the heels lower. So breathing in and breathing out. And just sort of finding the rhythm, the music almost between the breath and the lifting and the lowering of the heels. And we'll do one more like this. And now we're going to add something to this. When we lift up on our heels, we're going to take our arms up as well, just to heart level. And if you're concerned about stability, just keep one hand on the chair and maybe practice with one arm. That's okay. That's great. Maybe from time to time, switch arms. Okay. And I might be holding on to the chair today. So as you are ready, breathing in, lifting up onto the toes, lifting the arms. Exhale, lowering the arms, lowering the heels. Breathing in and out. 3 more. It's kind of like being an ocean wave. Last one. Excellent. And then go ahead and look down at your feet. And if your feet are bare, go ahead and fan the toes out so you have a little space between each toe. You can see me lifting my toes and stretching them out. And then think about moving your heels back. So I'm lifting that heel up just a little bit. My foot's not moving. It's just the intention of moving the heel back. And ultimately, what we want to feel is the front of the foot broader and the entire foot longer. And in that way, we're going to be a little bit more rooted, a little bit more connected to the earth. Also bring some awareness to the base of the big toe, the base of the baby toe, and the back of the heel. And if you think about those 3 points on both feet, it's possible you're going to feel the instep begin to brighten. And as it brightens, you can pull that brightness right up through the center of the body. So lifting up in the inner ankle, in the calves, maybe the kneecaps lift a little bit, the lower abdomen, the ribs can come in, the heart can lift, the shoulders might roll back and down, and the shoulder blades might float down the spine. We're going to keep our lower back, our sacrum, at its neutral angle, so we don't want to feel any pinching. We don't want it to be flat. So in yoga, we call this form Tadasana, and it means mountain pose. And of course, mountains are grounded and strong and stable, and so is Tadasana. We want to hold on to this idea of being grounded and stable as we move through the rest of the practice. So we're going to start by stepping back away from our chair about a leg length. Again, my ankles are going to align with the center of my hips, and then I'm going to find my hip crease. And that's where I want to fold from. I don't want to round my spine when I fold. I just want to hinge at my hips and keep my spine neutral. So as you're ready, take a breath in. And as you exhale, hinging at the hip crease and then extending the arms to find your chair. How deeply you fold, you know this by now. It's up to you. You do what is useful to you. And that could include coming closer to the chair and not hinging quite as far. No matter where you are, I know that all of us are having a little bit of stretch and sensation in the back of the thighs. We want to point the tailbone toward the wall behind us and stretch the crown of the head toward the wall in front of us. And with both feet flat on the floor, we're going to bend one knee and then the other. And as we do, we might notice some sensation in the hips and maybe even in the shoulders. So in a later video, we might be doing a pose called downward dog. And this is a nice variation of it. We're basically in the same shape that we would be in if we were in down dog. Let's come back to center. Let's soften both knees and then walk to the back of the chair. And if you think it'll be helpful, take your feet a little bit apart, turn both feet out, soften the knees, and circle the hips. And then change direction. And then come back to center. We're still working with our chair, mostly for stability, keeping our right foot forward and stepping our left foot back. Now, my back foot, you can see, is turned out slightly. I'm going to have both legs straight. And I want to keep my ankles in line with the center of my hips because that is how I'm going to be able to bring my left hip forward. So both my hips are facing the back of this chair. In other words, our feet are not aligned as if we were on a tightrope. There's a little bit of depth between each foot. If my hands are the feet, they're not like this, they're like that. So let's let this left hip come forward. Now we want to draw up in the lower abdomen. We want to bring those lower ribs in and then working from the hip crease again, just hinging at the hip with a neutral spine, letting our arms rest on the back of the chair. And again, how far forward you fold is kind of between you and the back of your thighs and calves. But while we're here, we want to press down through the base of the right big toe. We want to anchor through our left heel. And we want to continue to extend through the spine. Sometimes we get a little rounded, sometimes we drop the head, but let's keep our spine neutral and long. Let's keep our ears away from our shoulder. And then we're going to bend our right knee until it's over the ankle. We're going to bring the torso back up. And again, you have the option of using the chair for stability. And if you do, with your right knee forward, maybe you'll take your left arm up. But if you like, you could explore having both arms up. And this form in yoga is called Warrior One. We're anchoring through that left heel. And a nice way to do that is to think about lifting the back of your left thigh toward the ceiling. And when you do that, you'll feel that left heel plug in. Let's press our fingertips toward the ceiling, lengthen through both sides of the torso. And then we'll bring our arms back down. We'll step our back foot forward. We'll take a breath in through the nose. And we'll exhale through the mouth as if we're blowing out a candle. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in and out. Keeping our left foot forward this time, stepping our right foot back, turning the right foot out just slightly. Both legs are straight, squaring my hips to the back of the chair. And the reason why it's so important to draw up in the lower abdomen is to prevent any pinching in the lower back. We don't want to feel pinching back there. So we stay strong in the core. We draw the lower ribs in. We find our hip crease. And we take our forward fold. Again, the spine is long. We're pressing down through the base of the left big toe this time, anchoring through the right heel. And again, a nice way to feel that anchoring is thinking about lifting the back of the right thigh toward the ceiling. And then let's bend our left knee until it's over the ankle. Let's bring our torso back up. And again, you have choices here for warrior one. You could stay stable with your left hand on the chair and take the right arm up. You could have both hands on the chair, of course, or you could take both hands up. If the arms are extended, you're pressing the fingertips into the ceiling. You'll feel lengthening along both sides of the torso. Just a couple of breaths here, soft around the eyes and quiet in the mind. And then we'll bring our arms back down, step that right foot forward. Maybe take our feet a little bit apart again, turn both feet out, soften the knees and circle. And change the direction. And then come back to center. We're going to sit now. So if you have watched the first video, something nice to do would be to combine the first video with this video. It would make a great little practice for you. But you don't have to. You can watch them all individually. If you want to, as you gain strength and as you fall more in love with yoga, it might be nice to begin to combine those videos into your own sort of menu of practice. So as always, feet are flat on the floor, ankles are in line with the knees are in line with the center of my hips. I sound like a broken record. We're sitting up nice and tall, lifting through the heart. We need to do a twist. So we're going to bring this left hand over to the right thigh. We're going to bring the right hand behind us. Every time we breathe in, we want to lift and lengthen. Every time we exhale, we want to see if there's a little bit more rotation. Remember that you are listening to your body. So pay attention to what's happening. Pay attention to what you're feeling. And when you feel that you're in the full twist, you can turn your head to look over your left shoulder. And then let's come back to center. Bring our right hand over to our left knee. Bring our left hand behind us. And again, sitting up nice and tall. As we exhale, moving into the rotation in our torso. Paying attention to the idea that we're very asymmetrical. So what you felt on the first side may not be what you feel on this side. So just treating each movement as its own. And when you're ready, you could turn your head to look over your right shoulder. Get that little neck release. And then we can come back to center. So a yoga practice typically has a forward fold, a back bend, a lateral stretch, and a twist. And those ideas can be done in so many different ways. They can all be done in a chair. They can all be done standing, lying down, upside down. They can all be done differently. Today, our standing forward fold, when we were at the chair with the hands on the back of our chair, that was the forward fold. Warrior one was our back bend as we lifted our heart and felt that little bit of a back bend. We just did our twist. We still need a reclining, or not a reclining, we still need a lateral stretch. So let's take hold of a chair leg with our right hand. Let's take the left arm up and over. Now, in the first video, we do this as a dynamic movement. We move from side to side, but today we're keeping it static. I'm trying to keep the weight on my hips even. And we'll turn the palm of the hand toward the ceiling, breathe in and pull ourselves back up. Take hold of the chair leg with the left hand, take the right arm up and over. And this right hand, this extended arm is really active. I'm reaching through those fingertips. You might feel some sensation in the ribs. You might feel them opening a little bit, maybe in the armpit, the upper arm. Then we'll turn the palm toward the ceiling and breathe in, pull ourselves back up to center. We're going to circle the torso in the hips, kind of a little moment of integration. And then changing the direction of the circle. And coming back to center, and finally, just rooting through the soles of the feet again, and either closing the eyes or looking toward the tip of the nose, letting the hands rest someplace comfortable, sitting up nice and tall, and just noticing the breath, noticing the temperature of the in-breath, the temperature of the out-breath. Allowing yourself to let go of the agenda, to let go of any expectations, and instead to just be present with the body and with the breath. Allowing the mind to be quiet, the expression on the face to be soft. Giving yourself permission to just take a few moments of rest. And then bringing the palms together at your heart and taking a moment to extend gratitude for all of you who are watching this video and keeping our community alive. Thank you. Thank you for your practice.